All right, class, I want you guys to be back into Google Classroom. If you need to have your Google Classroom open and then your book creator open for notes, you can split your screen. And then as I'm sharing my screen, you can be in both places as well. So I'm going to take you guys to Google Classroom. We're looking at how to improve your second draft. And so I'm going to take us to the slides I've got for us. So this is how to fix your rough draft and have a good second draft. So I have a question for you. Are you stuck fixing your rough draft and are not sure what Mr. Scott wants you to do to create a better second draft? You can answer that in the chat. If you are, or even if you feel like you're in a good place, here are some things to do to make your writing better. Step 1, add in a good hook. I've linked our good hook slides here. I'm going to open them up really quickly. Some of the things that I talked to you guys last week about good hooks were this. A hook is a different way to grab your reader's attention so that they stay engaged in your writing. It's engaging questions, quote, dialogue, detailed description. All of that is what I want to start seeing in your second drafts. So here is the rest of how to do that. And so if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do that better, it's all right here in this slideshow. So I want you guys to have that open. I had everyone put that into their notes last week. And so that way you can reference it as you guys are writing. So do not just, however, do not just use these good hook writing tips for your introduction. Did you know that doing all 4 of those, having engaging questions, having quotes, having dialogue, having vivid details, vivid description is phenomenal for the rest of your writing. All right, step 2. Make sure the rest of your memoir follows the plot outline. So on your own time, I want you to re-watch this plot outline video. That is something that really will help your writing. It will really make you have a story that flows. And I'm going to show you why I think everyone needs to have that here in a second. And then step 3. As you make sure your story follows a plot, which should develop characters through conflict, add in dialogue, vivid details, and continually engage your readers through clear writing. All right, I want you to, as you are like, well, okay, so what did he want us to take notes on? I want you to copy down step 1, step 2, and step 3 so that you know exactly what I'm looking for in your second draft. I'm looking for you to have a good hook. I'm also looking for you to use those tools, the good hook tools, in the rest of your writing as well, not just at the very beginning. I'm looking for you to follow a plot, all right? And then I'm looking for you to develop your characters through conflict. I'm looking for you to add in dialogue through adding conflict into what the characters are saying. I'm looking for vivid details and continually to engage your readers through clear writing. All right, so your takeaway is this. Dan Orozco, can you read this slide for me?
First, add in a good hook. Second, follow the plot outline. Third, add in developed characters through good conflict, dialogue, vivid details, and continually engage your readers through clear writing.
All right, so I'm going to give you an example of what that can look like here with my own writing. All right, so I'm going to share with you guys this in just a second. All right. Okay, give me just a second. I'm going to stop sharing and I'll pause. All right, so I'm going to take us to my rough draft. And what I did is I wrote something up that is very similar to what I find from you guys. All right. So when I was looking through your rough drafts, not everybody's read like this, but quite a few viewers did. So I think I was resilient once when I didn't die from pneumonia and then decided to live a healthy life and find my wife. All right, so this is me as a student pretending to write in you guys' voice, okay? So oftentimes this is what I see, okay? I really didn't like having pneumonia. It was hard to breathe. It felt scary. I was in the hospital for 10 days and then the doctors let me go home. But that was after I had 2 surgeries. When I got home, I had to continue to fight to breathe. My left side was numb, but instead of giving up, I decided to keep struggling. Every day after I made it home, I woke up, got out of bed, and walked upstairs. Those stairs are what sent me to the hospital, and now they were part of my recovery. Now I'm better. Well, almost. And I am so glad I bounced back and was resilient. Being resilient is important. Taking my student hat off, I'd be really proud of some of what's in there. But here is what I think when I read this as a teacher. I go, okay, they've got a good start, but they're missing some key things. There's no engaging question. There's no quotes. And I think to improve mine, I want to add in a powerful quote. So I'm going to open up the quotes right here. Go all the way down to the last one. All right. One moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to even go to my second draft right here and start off with that. And say this so why this works as a better start than what I wrote before is, first off, people will recognize this quote and then they'll say, well, I want to know how it defines his life. So even if you're starting right there, that's going to be phenomenal. And then I'm going to go back to here. I don't have any vivid details and I don't have any dialogue. So if I want to have dialogue in mind, it needs to be dialogue that pulls the story forward. And so if we go to the good hooks, you'll notice that I've got dialogue that does that, okay? It makes you want to know what is happening, what's the conflict. And so I might go right into this and just put it in. Obviously, I'm going to need to make sure it's all the same font, all the same color. And we do that by doing this. And all of a sudden, I've got, and let's also look for all the same font there, so that it all looks the same. And then we unbold it. All right. Now this is a start that I can live with. And then I'm going to need to make sure that the plot works as well. So I'm going to be continuing this on Wednesday so that we can look at our hooks. We can look at like the difference between a rough draft. So there might be more words here in my rough draft than in my second draft, but this second draft already has some better stuff. It's a little out of order because I was copying and pasting, but it's already got dialogue in it. It's already got conflict because we're trying to figure out why I couldn't breathe, why the quote connects to what I'm doing. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, on your own time, go and answer a Google Classroom question of what you can do and where you can add vivid details, dialogue to your story. It can be anywhere. And then go work on your second draft of your memoir. All right. Zion, what am I wanting you guys to do?
You're wanting us to go, oh, hold up, let me actually go on the assignment that you want. You wanted us to go to the how to edit your writing in a second draft, where you can add vivid details, dialogue, and conflict to a second draft of memoir and just type your answer of where in the story you can put vivid details and your hooks, and just what is it called again? Context.
Conflict.
Both of those.
Yeah. And so where can you add all of that in your story?
Well, first in the beginning, you're gonna need a lot of context, and then probably between the middle and end, more conflict.
So all of the stuff we've been talking about, the vivid details, the dialogue, the engaging questions can be throughout your whole story. All right. So it can be anywhere you think it makes sense and really makes your story come to life. Because the one thing I would say with my rough draft is I wouldn't keep reading it if it was just this. It's just like, it's super simple. And in no way is this everyone's writing. This is just kind of a generalization of what I see from what you guys have. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop